By fate, I learned to play the cello. It was the beginning of grade 4. Our school handed out instrumental selection forms, each instrumental family listed with check boxes of each different instrument. We had to number them from 1 to 4, the preference for which instrument we wanted to play. It was like an election ballot. I remember putting woodwind instruments as my top 2 and then 2 string instruments, one of them being the cello, perhaps being my 4th option. Then we had auditions, singing the nursery song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. This enabled the music teachers to see if we had an ear for pitch, rhythm, and beats. The forms came back of which instruments we got approval to learn. You're going to learn the cello. To be honest, I initially was only interested in playing the cello, not committed. I sucked at playing. It was only until grade 11 that I started becoming somewhat competent with playing the music. Do you know what is necessary to get better at an instrument? Practice. The process of sucking until you don't. I saw practice as a means of not being punished by my strings teacher, not actually getting better. Like, my strings teacher had these small booklets where you would pencil in how many hours of practice you did for that week. I always lied about it throughout primary school, fudging the numbers of how much time I practiced that week. Then, by some miracle, I get it signed by my parents to approve the hours. Why did I learn the cello then? I was inspired by a few girls in my grade 3 class the previous year who had the opportunity to learn the violin in the middle of class, and I wanted to do the same. For all that time, I had no reason to play the cello, other than an obligation to my strings teacher as being a part of the instrumental music program. But now, I realize that you can create a reason why without starting with one. I play because I enjoy the sound. After sucking for 7 years, that's only when I started truly enjoying the sound, enjoying the fruits of my labor. Which instrument shall I choose? Listen to the instrument that you may be interested in. Perhaps there is a deeper reason for playing your chosen instrument. Piano, for example. I was good at it compared to the other primary school students who took classroom music. I was set up to succeed by learning treble clef from class and bass clef from cello lessons. I took my first piano lessons in school from my grade 7 math teacher who I deeply admired. Then, in grade 8, an anime called Your Lie in April really got me committed to learning piano by learning one of the songs from its soundtrack. Then, I went through a phase of listening to all of Coldplay's albums to learn their songs on the piano, with Clocks being the very first one I played in front of my class for Human Technologies. Then, I stumbled across the Oriental Japanese composition of Ryuichi Sakamoto and Joe Hisaishi from a YouTube video explaining the Japanese style of composition. Their songs have special meaning with the associations I have with Hayao Miyazaki's movies or Sakamoto's composition style. Music is truly a gift. I remember sharing Rosalina's Observatory and a friend smiled saying, "Denzel, that's my childhood," or quietly playing Merry-Go-Round of Life while practicing Japanese oral exams with a student who loved Howl's Moving Castle. I'm not here to convince you to play piano. It wouldn't be the same for someone else who loved playing the clarinet, for example. There will be a sound that you are drawn to. Just listen and let yourself choose. Work now, passion comes later. In the beginning, again, you will suck. There are no questions about it. So let's not try and be perfect from the get-go. And this idea that passion is found is plain wrong. Sure, your personality and character traits might give you a proclivity to pursue certain hobbies and activities. However, it's a matter of having faith, the belief that even though you suck now, you will not suck forever. And generally the process is like this. You suck, you practice more. You suck less, you enjoy practice. You get good, and you start practicing a lot more. Personally, when it came to playing the cello, I did more practice in grade 11 and 12 than I did from grade 4 to 10 combined. What changed? I wanted to practice. I could see I became better with each practice session, 30 minutes once every 2 days. And you know what was also the greatest feeling? Turning up to rehearsals and knowing you've already done your homework, having nothing to fear when a problem in playing arises. It becomes a matter of technique rather than a lack of practice. Why you will quit? Hopefully not. Discouragement from failure will be your greatest enemy in the beginning of your journey. I'm going to take some wisdom from David Goggins. If you know who this guy is, you might be asking, what the hell does he have to do with playing an instrument? He had a phrase that struck me when I was going through a rough patch in my cello playing. Quitters quit. My first strings teacher, who taught me since grade 4, said to me she could see in my eye during grade 8 that I wanted to quit, but I just didn't. Should I have quit? That's a tough question to answer. Now with hindsight, I needed to suck before I got good. It's like going through a dark tunnel, not seeing the end of the tunnel for a long time, eventually seeing the light. In grade 11 to 12, was probably that light at the end of the tunnel. Then, how the fuck do I know when to quit? The paradox is you will not develop a passion for something until you become good at it, but you will suck and not like it at first. There is no shame in taking up an instrument and abandoning it if you genuinely cannot see yourself playing this instrument for the next 5 years. Reconsider. What do you value more? Embracing the process of practice without the expectation of competency, or saving the sacrifice for another endeavor? Although there is uncertainty that you will get better, it's guaranteed if you stick with it for a long enough time horizon.